Hello good people, it's Ian here, aka Hura Mantra. Welcome to my channel and to another video. And I wasn't planning on making this video because, as you can hear, I've got man flu again. Oh, do you know what? I seem to be taking the hit, I think, for all of South Wales with the man flu. So I've got my cup of ginger tea here, should I start coughing. But the reason that I decided to make this video was because in my last video, I talked a little bit about how meditation statements can work like the Zen Buddhist koans, which are statements or sentences or concepts designed to really break down sort of like traditional thinking in your mind and set you off on another path of thought. And my meditation today, for me, was a good example of that, so I thought I would share it with you. And the meditation statement was, thought precedes creation. Now, yes, on the superficial level, obviously, we think about something and then we make it happen. So, yes, we can see that thought precedes creation. But when my meditations, right, I try to look at something from its highest archetype, because it's a spiritual teaching that from the highest to the lowest, that is the downflow of principles, from the highest spiritual principle to the lowest physical principle. And as I've said before, lowest doesn't mean less important. So the physical realm is not less important to us than the high spiritual realm, because they each serve their purpose. So I thought, right, well, let's just have a little look at this and see, where we can perhaps see it at its highest operating principle. So in the words, in the four worlds of the Kabbalists, in the world of Atziluth, the divine world of divine abstract concepts. So I got myself into my, my meditation frame of mind, and I thought, well, divine thinking, does God think? And when I use the term God, as I've said 1,000 times, I'm sorry to bore you, I don't necessarily mean the Christian God. I mean, God, the Ein Sof of the Kabbalists. So, does the Ein Sof think? Because the Ein Sof is the no thing, the great negation, the absence, pure being, pure consciousness without attributes, without activity. So, no, the Ein Sof doesn't think like we think. As fast as it is, by spiritual standards, that slow electrochemical process that allows our consciousness to interface with our bodies through our brain and our mind. So no, God doesn't think. But if we could say will and intention, if we can say that within the Ein Sof, will expressed as intention arose. So within the heart of the no thing, in the great negation, in the great absence, a focal point of will and intention manifests itself, kata. Then we can see that the statement thought precedes creation applies even at the very highest level. So I was just kind of chewing this over in my mind, and then out of nowhere I just had an image, and when I say it, in my mind I saw, just kind of shot out of nowhere, a hospital operating theatre. And so my thoughts were interrupted whilst I was exploring this. I thought, what's this? So I kind of just watched this operating theatre scenario for a second or two, And then I rose above it to look down at who was on the operating theatre, and it was a man, middle-aged man, and the bottom of his face had a clear mask on it with all the anaesthesia pipes and whatever. But it was clear, and I could see right that his face was peaceful, very tranquil, at rest. But as my eyes kind of went further down his body, he was open from throat right down to his groin. And I thought, oh, why am I seeing this? This is awful. And the surgeons were working on him. So I kind of pushed the image out of my mind. And I thought, why did that image come into my mind? What is in that for me? So I just thought about it for a while, and I realised that the only way that that man and any human can survive such radical surgery to the body is because thought is suspended, and more than thought, consciousness is displaced. Modern anaesthesia has found a way to detach consciousness from the body, to push it out of the body, in a way similar to what happens in the natural process of sleep, but much more deeply. And when consciousness is pushed out of the body, thought is also pushed out of the body. And so reality, and I need to go back here, because if we're saying that thought precedes creation, then we're saying that our thoughts precede the creation of our reality. Now, I've talked about this in some of my previous videos about, you know, it's what we think is happening very often is what affects us, not what is actually happening. So in this operating scenario, consciousness is displaced from the body, and with consciousness, the servant of consciousness, thought and thinking, is also displaced from the body. And so with consciousness and thought displaced, physical reality is suspended. So without consciousness, without thought, there can be no physical reality. So it's absolutely right, isn't it? Thought precedes creation, and consciousness precedes thought, which precedes creation. In this case, the creation of our physical reality. That's not to say that by our thought we can control every aspect of our physical reality, but it is to say, without our thought, without the presence of our consciousness, there is no physical reality. And so I came to realize that the truth is, it isn't so much thinking that precedes creation, it's consciousness precedes creation. The consciousness of divinity that allowed the arising of will and intention, and the consciousness of us as spiritual divine beings who in our humanity, in this time of our humanity, physical beings, the byproduct of consciousness in our physical body is thought. And so from our consciousness come our thoughts, and from our thoughts we create our reality. So I just wanted to share that with you to kind of let you into sort of how my meditations work. And what I mean when I say that, you know, a trigger statement can actually cause your mind to work and come to conclusions and understandings and concepts that it didn't know or didn't think of before. Okay, so I'm going to stop now, because I can feel a big cough coming on. Anyway, great to chat with you. Catch up with you guys again soon. Bye for now.